and Saudi Arabia, mainly doing a lot of contracting. And my wife is not, she didn't like the Middle East. So we bought a house in Cyprus and I based myself over here. It's only a 20-minute flight to Beirut, 3-hour flight to Dubai, and there's 3 or 4 flights every day. And little by little, we just stayed here. And, now I just live here.
Nice. Yes. The taxes in Dubai are very well as well. I lived there for a while.
The taxes in Dubai are zero. There's no tax. But after the oil crisis about 3 or 4 years ago, when oil started going down, and then last year, with COVID and oil was selling for minus $35, minus $38. I mean, they were paying people to buy oil. There were no more government contracts all over the Middle East, and business kind of dried up. So I'm in Cyprus. I own a car rental company over here. I do some construction also, and cryptocurrency. I write the code myself. I don't hire outside devs, and I launch coins normally for people. I promote them. I offer services on your website and stuff like that. And now I've decided to launch this coin because I like sci-fi movies. I like sci-fi shows. And so I'm gonna make my own show, basically, my own animated show.
All right. Yeah, that's a wonderful intro to the AMA, I guess. So can you tell us what the show is going to be about, and how did you come up with the idea?
Okay, the truth is, I came up with it. A client came to me and he wanted to create a cryptocurrency. He wanted some code. He wanted a contract for. In his words, he wanted to create a shitcoin, as they call them. And so I wrote the code and I finished it up, and then he started panicking. He started thinking that I put some code in there before he even launched. He was researching on like YouTube and whatever, and he wanted out. He wanted his money back, but he wanted to call it Ape Colony Mars. And so I was telling him, listen, just audit the contract. It'll cost you, you can have it audited on Fiverr. For, get 3 different guys to audit it for $50 each, and you'll see that it's clean. And I guess he was just having cold feet. So I decided to just go ahead with it. I like sci-fi. I came up with a story beforehand, and I told him, rather than having a shitcoin, why don't you create a comic? And then if the coin does really well, you can animate a series for as little as maybe $3,000 or $4,000 an episode. You can hire really good animators and voiceover people, and you can animate your own series. And it can be about, look at the situation we're having now with Russia invading Ukraine and America getting involved, and NATO and all that stuff. So base it on that. Let's say we launch a mission to Mars with all the equipment we need to change the environment so humanity can survive on Mars. And we put apes in the shuttle and sent it to Mars. Then nuclear war breaks out on Earth, and that shuttle is forgotten. A couple of 100 years later, after we have a one world government on Earth and humanity's back to normal, Earth can't sustain life anymore the way it used to because of the nuclear war and all the other stuff that happened. So we launch another mission to Mars to colonize Mars, to have humans living on Mars. And when they get there, the apes have evolved and they don't want to share the planet. And that's the if I don't want to give away too much, because I've already hired a writer that's writing everything. We've planned 3 seasons. Each season is 10 episodes, a minimum of 35 to 40 minutes per episode. And it's a little more complicated than that. I mean, they get to Mars and they don't want to share. So obviously there's going to be some sort of a conflict, kind of like Planet of the Apes, where the apes evolve on Earth and then there's a revolution. So possibly after the conflict on Mars, there could be an invasion of Earth, and then a liberation of Earth. So that's basically the 3 seasons. I think I gave away too much now. I shouldn't have done that, but I just did.
It only makes the people want to watch it more, in my opinion. And yeah, it sounds interesting. And why apes? Why not any other animal?
Oh, okay, because the closest species to mankind is actually the ape. We only use 2% more of our brain capacity than they do. So technically, we're basically they're our cousins, our distant cousins. Let's put it that way, our second or third cousins. But they're not too far away from us evolution wise. Now, personally, I don't believe in the whole evolution theory. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I believe that the story of the Bible. I believe in all that personally. But from a scientific point of view, and from a logical human being on this planet, and being logical and not completely connected to my religion, I believe that evolution could have happened, and it's something that God allowed to happen. And if you want to call God nature or evolution or whatever it is, that's what God is. So apes, because they're so close to us, and just as we've evolved, even if you look at mankind from let's go back 200 or 300 years ago, there has been some evolution, maybe not in the way we look and the way we stand and stuff like that, but in our mind thinking, and our mind has expanded and all the technological advancements that we've gone through. And apes are here on this planet. They can learn from us. And let's say there's some freak accident, a chemical that's released in the chemicals that are sent onto Mars, and they give them that extra 2% brain power. And we've sent all the material and everything up there to prepare Mars for mankind to colonize it. But they're already there, and the humans never arrive, and they have a couple of 100 years to evolve. And then when we get there, they're not really interested in sharing.
Yeah, that makes sense, and I think it has a great potential. So where are you gonna air your series?
Okay, I'm basing it. I've took the idea also. There's a show called The Chosen. It's a show about Christ, about Jesus Christ, and they tried to go to Netflix. I know some of the people working on it. I know the CEO and some other guys. They tried to go to Netflix, and because it was purely about Jesus in biblical sense, Netflix didn't really want to air it, so they wouldn't get any. They wouldn't get any flack from other people, the atheists, the Jewish, the Muslims, whatever. So they didn't want to air it. So what The Chosen did is they created their own app on the Play Store, and you download the app and you can watch the series for free, and they crowdfund each and every episode, and they have some advertising on there and some merchandise, and they did really well. They're raising about $3 to $4 million per episode, and they've produced the show fully through crowdfunding. So with that in mind, I decided that we would just create an app or just launch it for free on YouTube.
Nice. And you mentioned crowdfunding, which is an interesting point here. So basically, what you're doing is you're using crypto to crowdfund your series. So why did you go the crypto route instead of Kickstarter, for example?
Because on Kickstarter, for instance, if you go to their website, they tell you to start sharing with friends and family, and to do, you have to kind of go out and get your own market, your own people to come in and start donating to you, unless it really picks up. And all these stories that you see on CNN and stuff like that about a little girl raising $50 million for her pet cat that's stuck in a tree. I mean, that's just like one in maybe 10 million accounts. So in cryptocurrency, especially with my background working in this business, I felt that I know where to go to advertise it. And if I put a marketing tax in the contract, then I can actually collect the money that I need to produce the show. And if I don't collect it anyway, I can sustain the project on my own. So this is why we're releasing the comic book in about 48 hours. There's going to be a comic book, and then a 1-minute intro basically to the movie. Also by the middle of next week. and then the series will start in 60 days. I'm not really worried about raising the funds for the show through crypto. I just maybe want to get a following. I mean, my group in 24 hours already has about 250 people, all organic. So if we can keep growing at that rate, maybe a little bit slower. In the beginning, you'll grow really fast. But let's say if we grow by 15, 20% a day, it's a decent community to kind of launch something, to have a base, and to go from there. And also because cryptocurrency with NFT projects and everything else linked to it, I really believe that it's the future of mankind. And if we just look at what happened now with Russia, with all the sanctions and everything that they did on Russia, the ruble got stronger, and it's mainly because of two things. It's because of crude oil, and they're selling crude to their neighbors for their own currency, and because they're still able to transact using the blockchain. I mean, you just can't stop it. You can put all the sanctions you want on a country, and blockchain just takes that away. So it's the future of currencies, the future of mankind. Pretty soon, I believe, even real estate title deeds will be on the blockchain, an NFT. It's not about just creating a digital picture of a rock. There's a lot more linked to blockchain when people understand that. And I understand that a lot of the kids out there, the investors out there, they just want to make a quick dollar. They want to put $10 in and take $100 out, and then go tell their friends that they made $90 in 20 seconds or whatever. But the power of blockchain it's a lot more than that. I mean, they just sanctioned the living hell out of Russia, but they can't stop them from transferring money because of blockchain.
Absolutely agree, and that's why we all here.
It's so decentralized. It's so uncontrollable, and in essence, that's what mankind. I mean, that's why we were put on this planet. We weren't put to be told to wear masks and get vaccinated by force, and to stay in our houses and only go to the supermarket because of some virus or whatever. I'm not saying the virus is fake. I'm just saying that we weren't designed to live like that. And so the control of our money, and the way we spend it, and the way we make it, and the way we send it, and what we do with it should also be free. You know, you go to the bank over here in Cyprus and you want to open an account, and they might not even approve you, even if you're 100% clean, or they'll just close your account after a year. Why is it that the bank has to assume that somebody's doing something wrong? Isn't it the government's duty to find out if you've done something wrong and then to prosecute you? Or isn't it your duty as a citizen to declare your taxes, and it's not the bank's job to sit there and audit you and look at you and ask you source of wealth and source of this and source of that? If you declare your taxes, then you pay your taxes. And if you're caught doing something wrong, then you're prosecuted for that. But they can't just assume everybody's guilty and shut down the economy and take away our rights. And blockchain gives all that back to us. You can move $100 million to Iran, which is even more sanctioned, or North Korea, or to somebody anywhere in the world. I'm not saying I want to do that. I'm not saying I'm advocating that, but you can basically send money back and forth without any restrictions at all. And that's power. That's freedom.
Absolutely. And you raised some really fine points there. One that I want to touch upon was the NFTs and their actual power. I read recently that the board Yacht Ape Club are launching their own series as well. And the NFT holders could just offer their NFT to be a protagonist in the show. Have you thought about exploring this kind of area with your series?
You know, you broke up for about, at least on my end, for about 10 seconds. So I didn't get, if you could just repeat what you said, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe it's my internet connection. Apologies for that.
No worries.
So yeah, I wanted to touch upon NFTs, and I read recently that the Bored Yacht Ape Club is launching their own series, and their NFT holders could petition to have their character as a protagonist in the show. So I was wondering if you're exploring any kind of NFT possibilities with your series.
Yes, yes. I think I mentioned that in the beginning. If I didn't, I'm sorry. The first thing that we launched was the token. We're trying to create a base for the token. After that, there's going to be an NFT and the comic book. The comic book will be released for free, but then you can buy the slides as NFTs. And then the series, which is the show. Now, there's more to the project behind that, because at the end of the day, if you just have a series or you just have an NFT, it'll be like any other coin. It'll launch and then it'll die. And so the idea is, and this is why we haven't really done any marketing, and we're doing okay now without any marketing at all. This is probably the first thing that we've done. What we're going to do is create an ecosystem for other people, other artists, NFT artists. For example, we have a photographer that's in Ukraine right now who's fairly well known, and she's going to be selling real art NFTs. And so I've created the smart contract for that. We're going to create the website. We already have the domain. We'll start promoting other tokens also on our website, kind of not to compete with Coinscope, because you guys are already a lot bigger than we ever will be probably, but to create an environment where people can go in and invest in NFTs and tokens that have basically only been KYC'd, have the liquidity locked, and then you're walking in and you're not getting stuck in a scam. There was a project recently on CoinMarketCap. It's still there. Called Metal, and they've been able to. I mean, they just rebrand. They use the same contract. They've basically rugged about $3 million in the past 2 weeks, and they're still on CoinMarketCap. I mean, that's a joke. That's just pathetic that stuff like this can happen, and it's on CoinMarketCap, and they have a $5 billion fake market cap, because they really don't have that many tokens in the pool, and they just have people buying. Then they put more tokens in the pool, and then they have people buying. And they started off with 300,000 in liquidity. Every time they get around 1 million to 1.2 million, they drain all the liquidity, and then they start all over again. They mute their Telegram group, and they just say that they had a problem with the contract, and here's the new contract. And the new contract is just the old contract. It just sends you to the same goddamn token. And people are so stupid and uneducated in most cases that they don't even care. They just buy. They look at the chart and they buy. And so the idea is to have a platform where there's a list of safe liquidity locked tokens where anybody can walk in and not have to worry about if they're going to get scammed or not. They might not always make money. We can't guarantee that, because in the world of investing, things go up and down. But if we level the playing field and we give you just a fair chance to walk in knowing that you're not going to get scammed, or the chances of getting scammed, because I'm pretty sure scammers will always try to find a way to get in. The chances of getting scammed are reduced by 99% or 99.9% or whatever. It gives people hope. The only thing that we're missing in decentralized cryptocurrency is the fact that any bum anywhere in the world can create a token for as little as $25 or $30 if they just get a code from anywhere, launch it, and then drain the liquidity pool and make money constantly. And there's nobody there there's no accountability. There's nothing. Nobody's required to submit an ID. Nobody's required to say who the hell they are. And if you're a bank, and essentially if you own a token, you're kind of like a bank, and you really don't have the right to be anonymous. So, for example, I have a YouTube channel where I show my face, but there's a lot of tokens out there where people, you don't know who the hell you're giving your money. It's just random people creating tokens and scamming people, basically. So the idea is to try to give investors a chance to invest in something without actually having to worry about getting scammed constantly.
No, that makes sense, and we've seen that a lot, especially in the position that we are with KYC and our audit services. We absolutely understand where you're coming from, to be honest. And again, you touched on quite a few broad subjects that I'm sure everyone is thinking about these days, especially with the latest situation with all the scams, as you mentioned, right? So what I wanted to touch upon now is a bit on your tokenomics. We haven't talked at all about that, but would you mind sharing how you're going to structure your tokenomics, your taxes, and why you've chosen this structure?
Okay. First of all, there's a 5% BUSD reflection to all the holders. So on every buy and sell, whoever sells pays 5% of their sale, and that goes to all the holders in BUSD. So you don't have to stake, you don't have to do any of the fancy stuff, put it in a staking pool or a liquidity pool or anything like that. You just hold the tokens and you'll be getting BUSD every single day. There's a 1% liquidity tax, and that's automatic. So every buy and sell, a small percentage of the buys and sells, we had about $8,000 or $10,000, I think, in volume in the past 24 hours. 1% of that goes into the liquidity pool so that we can continue to operate at around 25 to 30% liquidity as we grow. There's also a 2% buyback. So yesterday the price went down and I bought back into the token, and then I burned the tokens that I bought, and I burned 10% of the supply. And then there's a 2%, and that's 8. And then there's a 7% marketing tax. So the 7% marketing tax pays for, example, you guys and everything else that we're going to be paying for. The total taxes in and out are 15%. But we mitigate that by basically paying the holders. After you buy in, you're constantly getting BUSD for holding. So basically, you'll probably break even within 2 or 3 days, even if the price doesn't change. Now, if the price goes up, you'll make money and you'll be okay. And the price should go up because this is cryptocurrency. And, during this conversation right now, cryptocurrency probably moved 2 or 3% up and down. It's not like the stock market. But you just get BUSD for holding. And if you decide to sell, fantastic. You've made some money. Sell, take the money, but you're not leaving without giving us a little something and contributing to everybody else. So if you come in the beginning and you put $100 in, and then the price goes up and you take out $1,500, great, go, enjoy yourself, but you're going to give us $150 out of that or whatever. And then you can enjoy the rest.
Got it. I'm sure we can find everything on your website.
Everything's on the website. We're updating the hosting actually, because we got a little more traffic than I actually expected. So we're updating the hosting package. The website went down, the first day of launch. The website went down because we got about, something like 3,000 or 3,200 clicks in the first 24 hours. And I really didn't expect that much just by launching. So now we're upgrading the hosting package and everything will be fine in the next few hours. So it's online, but it does tend to go down. It's probably going to go down now because a lot of people are going to see this AMA and then go and click there.
I'm sure it will be back up again. Yes. So one of the questions that I like asking new project owners is what risk are you seeing in growing your token, so investors can be aware of potential roadblocks, and how are you planning to address them?
Realistically speaking, just like in any business, you always have a risk factor. There's always a risk. But if you're able to sustain the business without actually having to depend on it on a day-to-day basis, if you have other things in your life that actually can sustain your life and you can invest in it in the beginning, then you should be okay. There's a risk always. I mean, tomorrow they could just ban cryptocurrency. I mean, is it going to happen? Maybe not. But did anybody expect a war to break out in Europe also at the same time? No, nobody expected that. So the unexpected can always happen. As far as we're concerned, what we need to keep doing is just growing organically. We don't want to necessarily focus on, you're in this business and you understand how it works. People create a token, and then what they do is they have 15 or 20 different wallets. They start trading. They get the volume they need. They do an airdrop to a couple of thousand people. They pay somebody $10,000. They're on CoinMarketCap. And next thing you know, everybody's hyped up about it. Everybody's buying into the coin. 2 weeks later, the coin crashes 90% down and everybody forgets about it and moves on to something else. We're trying to create sustainability. And so the only risk that I see, if we work carefully in the way that we're working now and we grow organically, the only risk that we face would be regulation. Would be if they regulate crypto and there's a huge crash in cryptocurrency, and that's a possibility that can happen any day.
Yep, totally agree with that. Yeah, good to know. So I have one last question on my end, and then we can just take a couple of questions from the audience. Where do you see the token in 6 to 12 months from now? What are the next milestones for you?
The first milestone would be finishing the platform and having an ecosystem where there's more and more people coming into the platform and investing through the tokens that we're listing or that we're associated with. That would be the first milestone. I know most people would probably expect me to say the series would be the first milestone, but it's not, because that's going to happen no matter what. The most important thing to grow this as a business and to remain sustainable is to keep getting new people in and to have more coming in than going out. So the most important thing is to grow the ecosystem, to have more and more token creators coming into our group and bringing more and more of their investors and more of their people into the ecosystem. Within 12 months, I would see us operating on a scale of probably like Coinscope, but in a completely different manner, where we're listing new tokens, we're promoting new tokens, we're helping people create new tokens, pre-sales, and just growing the community and focusing on keeping the people that come in safe so they can stay around, and not losing a lot of people due to various different factors that can come up. The most important thing is to keep growing organically and to keep growing the ecosystem, to keep bringing new people in as far as investors and token creators, and promoting the brand. That would be where I want to be in a year. In a year, I would want to have at least 25 to 30 other coins that are 100% guaranteed, and growing at a rate of maybe one coin per week. I don't want the platform to list 50 new coins a day. I just want one or two a week that are absolutely safe, that people can invest in and maybe make money, hopefully make money, and know that they're safe. And if they're not, then if they don't make money, then that's just the name of the game. You can invest sometimes and you won't make money. But it's more about quality than quantity. If you have two or three decent listings a week, you'll have more reliable and more committed investors that'll stay on your platform, knowing that you're offering something that's tangible, that's reliable, and that isn't just a bunch of shit getting thrown in their face all day, every day, 24 hours a day. Like, take this, 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 like infomercials. They know that if you're just offering something a couple of times a week, that they're getting quality from you, and that you're taking your time and you're actually putting your research into it, and that you're giving them something that they can, to an extent, basically just close their eyes and walk in and not have to worry about anything.
All right. Well, good luck with that. I'm telling you from experience, it's not going to be as easy, but all the best.
It's not going to be easy at all. No, like anything that you do, any business, but sooner or later it's going to get there. And when it gets there, it'll be great. So it's not going to happen in one day, but it will sooner or later.
Let's hope. All right, so I'll open to the audience for some questions. So anyone that has a question can just raise their hand. I'll start with Bintang at Nordic Wales. You're free to ask your question. Can you hear us, Bintang? Nope. Let's find someone else. Kapep from Nordic Wales. You can speak now.
I think they're just a group of investors. They all have the same username.
Yeah, I'll pick someone else because they were here from the beginning. I just wanted to give them the opportunity to ask a question. All right, Jin, you are free to ask your question. Jin, can you hear us?
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, my question is, what are the competitive advantages of your project? What advantage do you have over competitor? What will be your project secure most similar contender in the market today in terms of scalability, security, feature, and adaptability? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. As far as what advantage we have over over our competitors, I believe in the world of DeFi that the one advantage that we can have is security, as far as launching the platform and bringing people in that are KYC'd. That can give you security. As far as investing in a cryptocurrency, investing in a token, the guarantee is guaranteed by the market. I mean, you can't really guarantee anybody's going to invest in a coin and make a profit. I can guarantee you one thing, though, that if you do invest at a low market cap like this, chances of you making money are a lot higher than they will be if you invest in Bitcoin, for instance. And even if it goes up 10% and you put $1,000 in there, you'll make $100. But if you invest in something that has a really low market cap and it gets multiplied by 10 or 20 or 30, then you make 10 or 20 or 30 times your money. Adaptability and sustainability is basically to grow the platform, to grow the ecosystem, to bring in more people, and to bring in people that are actually KYC'd, so that you can have a reputation of promoting secure coins that will give people a chance to invest in. And I believe that will be the advantage. That's the adaptability, and that's how we grow. By constantly giving investors the opportunity to invest in something where they know that they're not going to be they're not going to have to worry about something like that token we spoke about, Metal, where they build up $1 million in liquidity, then drain it, and then start all over again, over and over and over. If we can limit that to the bare minimum, then that can be our advantage, and that's what we intend to do.
All right, thank you. Let's pick another question. Tinky Winky, you want to ask your question? Are you with us? I guess he's not. Let's pick someone else. Giant Black. Can you hear us?
Okay, thank you.
You
My
have a question?
question. Yes, yes. My question. What are the plans to educate and increase awareness and adoption in the community to get more people to understand your project easily? And what does the community mean to you? How do you intend to build a strong community?
Yes, again, thank you for the question. Well, the community means everything, to tell you the truth. Just like in any business, your core people, your core followers, your core clients are everything. Or in politics or in anything like that, the people that you have around you, you're nothing without them. They actually make you, you don't make them. So the community means everything. And the way we intend to grow it is to continue offering decent projects that are safe for people. And I believe that with organic growth and a sustainable business model, we can achieve that. The idea would be to not just bring in thousands and thousands of people that will be looking for a quick pump and dump, as they say, but to bring in people that are constantly looking for investments where, yes, of course, they can make money. And yes, of course, everybody wants to make money. We don't just want to get married to a token. We don't just want to buy it and sit there and stare at it at a screen and wait for it to go up. And then when it goes down, get a heart attack, and then it goes back up. We're all happy again. At the end of the day, we all want to make money. That's why we work. That's why we do things. But if we can grow a group of people that understand that they're investing and they're able to make money and they're able to do that securely, little by little, I believe with the way that social media and the whole industry works these days, I believe that organic growth is what we will focus on, grassroots, a grassroots movement, if you want to call it, or organic growth. If we can achieve that, and we probably will, then we should be okay. Obviously, you have to advertise, and you have to rely on the people that come into your network to bring their friends in.
Well, I think that's a great point to wrap up this AMA. Thank you, Rob. Anything else you want to share with our community today, and where can they find you?
Well, they can go to the website. The hosting is being updated right now. So it's apecolony.org. They can find us on Telegram. I don't know. Did you guys share the Telegram in the chat, or should I just mention
you can share it.
Okay. You can go to our Telegram group, and the handle is Ape Colony, so it's t.me/Ape Colony, and that's where we are right now. We're also on Twitter, Colony Ape, and other than that, if there's anything else coming up, we'll be announcing it on the page.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time, for being here, and all the best with Ape Colony.
Well, thank you guys for having me, and thank all the listeners for being here and for participating. It was really fun, and I look forward to seeing you all in the group and to growing this thing together.
Cheers, George. See ya.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.